We use pandas for different purposes, like we use it in the fields of data analysis, data science, machine learning, and so on. Today in this video, we are going to start learning pandas. Hello guys, welcome back to the Awesome Data YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave your comments below under this video. Ask your questions so we can answer them, and make sure you like this video because it helps me a lot. Let's begin. As I said before, Pandas is a Python library that is used for data analysis and data manipulation, and we can use it in different fields. So today let's begin by importing pandas into this Jupyter notebook. Let me write import pandas as PD. PD is the short name for pandas, which is a community standard, and we need to use PD for pandas as an alias. Let me run this cell by pressing shift plus enter. It is imported now, and if you want to check this, let me print the version of this pandas that we have imported. So let me print pd dot version. Let me press shift enter, and it says that the version is 2.0.3. so this is the latest version of pandas that we are using currently. First of all, let me tell you that pandas can be used on tabular data. That is, we can use it for tables that has rows and columns. So in pandas, we will be working on data frames, which is actually a table, and series, which is actually a column of a table. So before moving on to the data frame, let's talk about series. In pandas, a series is a column that stores any type of data, and we can create series in different ways. For example, if we have a list of values like let me say A, and let me assign a list to this. Let me say this is 10, 20 and 30. So this is a list that contains three values, 10, 20 and 30, and if I want to create a series out of this list, I can simply create it like this. Let me create another variable, that is s, and let me say that this is pd.series. pd.series is a function that lets us create a series that can store any type of data. So let me pass a to this. This will create a series and will assign that series to s. If we press shift enter, this will be run and a series will be assigned to variable s. If I want to print s, let me press shift enter. It says that this is a series. You can see that the series has three values, 10, 20 and 30, which are stored in a column, and by default pandas assigns index to this. The value 10 is assigned index 0, value 20 is assigned index 1, and value 30 is assigned index 2. We can also provide our own index to this. For example, while creating this series, I can add another parameter by the name of index, and we can assign index to this pandas series. I can say that value 10 has index A, value 20 has index B, and value 30 has index C. Let me rerun this cell, and now let me run this print statement. Now you can see that each value is assigned its own index that we introduced in this series creation statement. So this is one way of creating series. We have another way of creating a series, and that is we can create a series out of a dictionary. For example, let me create a dictionary. Let me assign some values to this dictionary. For example, we have John, and let me say that John's age is 30. Let me say then we have Nick, whose age is 25, and then we have Olivia, whose age is 22. So we have these three values. John has age of 30, Nick 25, Olivia 22. Now this is a dictionary, and we can pass this dictionary to a series. Let me create another series and say that pd.series. This time let's assign this d to s, and because we have key value pair here, by default the keys of this dictionary will be the indexes, and the values of this dictionary will become the values of that series or that column. If I run this, press shift enter, it will run this, will create a series, and will assign that series to variable s. If I want to print s, let me add s and press shift enter. we can see that now we have 30, 25, 22, and the keys of that dictionary, John, Nick, and Olivia, are now indexes which are assigned to the values of this series. So we can create a series out of a list, and we can also create a series out of a dictionary. If we do not want to include all the values of this dictionary and this series, we can modify the series and we can pick only those values that we need. For example, I can say that the index of this series is equal to, pick only John and Olivia. Because I don't want to pick Nick in this series, I only want to assign John and Olivia to this series. If I press Shift Enter here, this statement will be run, series will be created, and that will be assigned to S. Let's print this S again, and now we can see that this series has only two values, that is 30 and 22, John and Olivia. So we can pick only selected values from a dictionary and we can assign those values to a series. We have another way of creating a series, and that is we can assign a NumPy array to a series and it will be created automatically by the use of NumPy array. So for that, let me import NumPy array above, just like we imported this pandas. Let me press enter, write import NumPy as NP. Remember, NP is again the standard alias for NumPy. So let's create a series using NumPy array. First, let me create an array, and we can create it by the use of NumPy np.random.randint. And for example, I want to create random array from 10 to 20. It will take values from 10 to 20, and I need 5 values here. So if I press Shift Enter, this np.random.randint function will create 5 values array, and the values will be between 10 and 20. It will pick random values between this range, and it will give us an array of 5 values that will be assigned to this array variable. If I want to print this, I can just write the name of array and I press Shift Enter. It will show the array variable, and we can see that it has 5 values and all the values are between the range of 10 and 20. Because we have 11 twice, let me rerun this statement so it can change the values. Now we have different values, but again we have 13 twice. Let me change this range from 1020 to 1050, so you can generate random values, and now you can see that all the values are different. So now that we have array variable created, let's create a series out of this. This time we can say S is equal to pd.series, and let's assign that array variable to this series. If we press Shift Enter, it will create a series and will assign that series to this S variable. If I want to print S, let me press Shift Enter again. Now we can see that all the values are added to a column, which is a series here, and by default Pandas has assigned index from 0 to n-1 to this series. Again, if you want to assign our own index to this series, we can do that by just defining the index variable, and we can say that here I want 5 indexes, A, B, C, D, and E. Let me press Shift Enter again so it can rerun this statement, and now if we press Shift Enter here in this cell, we can see that the new index values are assigned to the values of series. So this is how we create series in different ways. Let's now access different elements of a series. For example, we have a series created here and we assign that series to S. If I want to see the value at index C, we can just use brackets here. For example, I can say show me S, and the index of this value should be C. If I press Shift Enter, it shows 11, and we can see that index C has value 11. Similarly, if I want to see index A, and if I press Shift Enter, it shows 40, which is assigned to index A. Remember that although we have assigned new indexes to this series, by default behind the scenes it also has indexes from 0 to n-1. That is, instead of SA, I can say S0, and if I press Shift Enter, we still have 40 here, and if I say S4 and if I press shift enter, we can see the value 15, which is at index E. So we can use both the indexes here to access different elements of a series. Similarly, we can use slicing here. For example, I can say show me S from 0 to 2. If I press shift enter, it shows 40 and 13 because 40 is at index 0, 13 is at index 1. Remember that the last index mentioned here will not be shown, only n-1 will be shown. We can use the same slicing techniques that we have learned in NumPy here as well, and we can access different elements using the slicing techniques. I think it's enough for today because we discussed a lot about Pandas series. In the next video, we are going to learn Pandas data frames, and we will be learning some new functions that are both applied to Pandas series and Pandas data frame. Thanks for watching.